Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. In this video, we are going to develop a Streamlit application to calculate the LLM cost. So we'll have a look at that how we can, track the cost when it comes to building generative AI applications powered by large language model. So we'll see some simulations based on GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 tokens usage. This is very important if you are working for some clients or somebody reaching out to you and asking that how much it can cost, to build a certain application. So this mainly falls under something called unit economics. So we'll have a look at unit economics nuances when it comes to large language model. I will also give you an idea that how you can extend this further for different infrastructure, open source models, and all of those tools that might require to build a Gen AI application. We'll start small probably in this video, and if you guys have any views and thoughts later on, I can also create the other part of this video which will be more focused towards open source model and also the cloud infrastructure or the hybrid cloud infrastructure cost. It depends where you are deploying. So mainly most of the hyperscalers do have when I say hyperscalers, they are major cloud providers like AWS, GCP, and Azure. They do have some calculations in some capacity, but I have a different idea that I will will show you, will discuss here in this video. And the reason is Pinecone also has a small section where they calculate or forecast the price, or estimate is the right word, not the forecasting. So they estimate the price, but unit economics is important, to do some kind of simulation based on different scenarios. For example, if you have 50 people working in your organization and they are, hitting your API endpoint 30 times in a day, and the prompt tokens, the output tokens, which is completion tokens, by the way, how you can create a scenario and build an application that will help you calculate this LLM cost. So you will be in a better position to basically fund this within your organization, or if you're quoting to some of your clients, that's where it's going to help. Now, without any further delay, let's build this Streamlit application, guys. Okay, so to build this, you can see that I have a current working directory called cost. Now let's open this in terminal. I'm just going to open this in terminal here, and let me just do this. And now let's create a virtual environment in Python. So I'm just going to do venv.venv, and this is how you do it. If you are using Anaconda, you will have a different way of creating virtual environment. Either you can do it by Anaconda navigator or from terminal as well by doing conda create env and something like that. Okay, now let's go inside cd venv scripts, and then /activate and a couple of cd dot clean and VS Code. Now I'm going to open this in VS Code. We need a couple of libraries to work on, and multiple dependencies within those libraries. So the first thing that we have to do to create a requirements txt. So excuse me. Okay. Now inside this cost, let's open a requirements txt. This is what I'm going to do here. And inside this, we need Streamlit, because we are going to develop a Streamlit application, just to show you quickly that how you can build it. Now I also need tick token. I'll also show you that if you don't know how to calculate tokens, you can also use a library tick token and a BPE tokenizer. That's what OpenAI also uses it, guys, by the way. So tick token is a library that we're going to use to keep a track of the number of tokens that has been used. And if you don't know how to calculate it, we'll just place it somewhere, through a function or something. We will see. We'll use get encoding, etc. to do that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do next is let's run this here. So let's do pip install -r requirements txt, and just that's it. Now what you're going to do, it will install everything, though that's within Streamlit and tick token. Now let's create an app.py. App.py, I'm gonna import Streamlit, import Streamlit as st, and the next is import tick token. Tick token. Okay. Now a few constant. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to show you that in this video that I'm recording or creating right now, it's only going to focus on GPT 3.5 and 4, but you can bring Bard, Palm 2, you can bring AWS Bedrock, Titans, Text Bison, you can bring Cloudways, Anthropic's Cloudways, you can bring a lot of other models. You the costs are available. In this, just to give you some idea that how you can build it. Okay, so GPT 3.5 Turbo, so let's define that. Turbo prompt cost, so prompt cost, and here it will be 1.5, and now I'm just gonna copy this here, by the way, or it's showing me, so turbo completion, or I'll just copy this, I'll make this completions, this is right, and now this it's not 0.06. GPT 3.5 Turbo completions are basically the output that you get, right? Once you hit a prompt or you ask a question, then you get some output, the completions. That's what it means. The cost, okay, per 1,000 tokens or something. Okay, you can find that. Let me show you. Now, if you open your browser, let's go here and see GPT 3.5 Turbo pricing. Now, once you do that, you can have a look at, not in price, you come here on the pricing, and you can find out all the pricing. For example, if you see, we are only focusing on 4K context, but if you also want to integrate, and that's what I said, right, you can extend it further. Now I will only focus on 4K context and 8K context when it comes to GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 Turbo. This is what I'm gonna focus on, but you can also have a look at embeddings, fine tunings, etc. as well. Okay, so you can look at here, we are going to use 0.002, so let's now define that here, 0.002. Okay, now we are done with GPT 3.5. Now I'm going to focus on GPT-4 prompt cost, and this is going to be, let's go back here on browser, and it's 0.03 per 1K token. So let's put that over here. And now GPT-4 completions, fantastic, which is 0.06 probably. Yes, you can see this is what we are considering. So this is for 8K context and this is for 4K context. Okay, and now we have our constant set. These values are not going to be changed. Now let's define a function called it's too hot here, guys, by the way. Let's define a function called num tokens. So I'm just gonna call number of tokens from string or something, from string, and let's call it string, and that's going to be str, and I'm gonna have an encoding name probably. So let's call this encoding name, which is also a string, by the way, and that this is what it's going to be. Okay. And now this is going to be int. Fantastic. Now we will not only return the length of string.encode, maybe you can make it little detailed here. So we're gonna use a function from tick token that's called get_encoding. So let's use that. Now I'm just going to have a variable here called encoding and tick token dot. Fantastic. This is what I'm gonna do. So get encoding, and then you have encoding underscore name, which is input params over here in the function. Now we got it. Now let's count it. So num tokens, a variable, and that is going to be length of that encoding, but we have to encode. So encoding, yes, fantastic. Encoding dot encode, and then your string goes, which is an input parameter as well. And then let's print this in terminal as well. So I'm just gonna print num tokens, and then gonna return num tokens to make sure that we are getting our num tokens thingy. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so this is a function that basically help you find out the number of tokens, and once you are done with this, then you will write your main function. So you can see it suggests me main function. So let's write now that define main function, and my main function, basically the Streamlit logic will go here. The first thing that I'm gonna do, I need why do we need, okay, let's have a wide layout. So st.set page config, and in this page config layout equals wide. This is right. Then I have a title, so let's don't call it tick token. Let's call it LLM cost calculation or something like that. Okay, LLM cost calculation. And the next is I mean, let's have a choice or something. So choice, the reason I'm creating this choice is because, you know, if you guys think that I should create one more video which is a little bigger and bring you more tools like Pinecone and like embeddings model, vector databases, all those together, caching together, you know, those kind of implementation, I can also do that, you know, probably. I don't know what to do here, but let's not have a choice, directly get started. Okay, so that depends. If you want that, I can create that video as well. Now let's have prompt text. Well, let's have a text area first. I'm gonna call this st.text area, and prompt text and enter prompt text. This is going to be your prompt. Let's make the height a bit more as 400. Prompt your input text. Okay, this is going to be an input area. Let's see what we get here, guys. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to run this Streamlit application. So Streamlit, I don't know, run app.py. Once you do that, we are expecting that it will open a new tab in a browser, your default browser. If it's Chrome, it will open in Chrome. If it's Edge or in any other browser, okay, Brave, Mozilla, something else. Now prompt is done. Now if prompt is done, what I'm gonna do is, if prompt text is not none, let's see if the value or if length of prompt text is a better way of doing it. So if length of prompt text greater than 0, then you execute the below code, and you can see, I don't know why it's showing like that. Okay, we'll have some it opened also. Yeah, it makes sense because, you know, because we are currently working, so it's fine. So what we're gonna do here is, we need column 1, column 2. Let's divide the layout in 3 columns, column 3, and I'm just gonna call this as st.columns and give equal weightage to these columns. And now within column 1, hey look, within column 1, or okay, this makes sense. I was thinking that if we can bring length prompt within this and keep it fine. Let's see what it does. The logics we'll see. With column st.info, and here I'm gonna write your input prompt, your input prompt text. Fantastic. Now let's see what it does. Let's see the logic ones, you know, if it's going all good. Now let's do a rerun here. I don't know why it's going like that. Okay, so main has to, I'm not running the main, that's what our problem is. Then you have to run that, correct. Now if we go back, LLM cost calculation, prompt text. Now here you can calculate your prompt. I don't know if this looks bigger, but let's make it smaller. So let's make this at 300 as in height, and 300, and now let's do a rerun. So yeah, this looks good now, by the way. So your prompt, and this can come in center, we'll see later on, probably we can do that. Okay, now with column 1 is done. Here we'll have a token count, so let's do that. Token counts, and I'm gonna use the function num tokens from string prompt text, and I'm gonna give the GPT-3 tokens. I'm gonna use the tokens that they use, you know, they use CL 100k base. So I'm just gonna use that CL 100k underscore base. That's the that's what I got from OpenAI cookbook, the GitHub repository. I don't know if they have a different tokenize encoders basically, but I think this is what they use. Now this is right. Now what I'm gonna do here next is let's have a st dot success, and inside this token count is string token count. So let's see if we get any error. Okay, now here I'm just gonna do a rerun. Let's do a token. I mean, what token we can have. Okay, I don't know if GPT-3 has okay, tokens. So let's go to Wikipedia AI. I don't know, enterprise application, whatever. Okay, let's copy some text. I just copied this entire thingy. I come over here, paste, click outside, and you can see that it says your token count. We got our token count. Fantastic. Now it says your input prompt, enterprise application. This was your whatever, like suppose if you have a prompt like this, you are using different type of prompt. Probably you will not have this much of a prompt, in most of the cases. But yeah, you can have as well, if it depends, you have what kind of prompt techniques you are using. If you're just a simple question, okay, write a summary of this article, that's simple for you. Now, this is how you calculate the tokens. So I also wanted to keep this here, so you can use it, you can also try it out. Now we are okay with this. Now let's go to column 2 here. So with column 2, what I'm going to do is probably let's make it a little more fancy. So st.subheader basic information, or how is it? I don't know. Let's see. I'll do a rerun probably. Okay. Oh, okay. With column 2, I could not close it. Oh, we'll see that. Now again, st.subheader, and in this, not advanced information, by the way, execute a scenario. Let's write execute a scenario here probably. Okay, execute a scenario, or should we write a simulation? Let's write a execute a simulation. I don't know, I mean, we will have something there. Now here we're going to have some option first. So let's have an option. So in option, what I'm going to do is st.select box. Let's have a select box, not slider, by the way, select box. Now in select box, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an option called select an LLM. Select an LLM. This is what select an LLM, and that's what I'm gonna have here. Select an LLM, and here we can have our GPT 3.5 and GPT 4. Okay, so let's do that. GPT 3.5 Turbo and GPT 4. Or let's write like GPT 4. Okay. Or better to write the way the OpenAI writes. Okay, so let's do that. Turbo, fantastic. Now GPT-4, this is done. Now this is an option, select box. Now the next is average. So now what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna have some variables, average number of employees. Now if basically these are average number of users. So if you're working in an enterprise and organization, you will have a number of people that you will give access to, if they want to use it. Okay, so or if you are a small company and building LLM application, you have to quote somebody a price, how you can create this scenario estimate. That's where we are having these variables, and these are limited set of variables. When you are really working on a bigger project, this will be a hell lot of other variables. You will have risk cost, you will have capital cost, you will have other cost as well. So please, this is just to give you an idea, but you can bring more variables into it. Now let's have a slider here. So I'm going to have my st.slider, and inside this slider, what I'm going to do is average number of employees, and then give some range of the slider. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with 0, keep default as 0 as well, okay, and maximum as 200. Now average number of employees are done. I'm gonna just copy this entire thing and quickly I'll just create more duplicates of it. Let's create some duplicates. Average number of employees are done. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna also have average prompt. Okay, average prompt frequency. So let's have an average prompt frequency, like what the frequency of average prompt frequency. So average prompt frequency, and this average number of employees now become average prompt frequency. So let's write that average prompt frequency per day. So let's call it per day, average number of frequency per employee, to make it a little more clear. So I'm going to have, like, for example, let's increase the value to 300. Now in one day an employee can hit 300 times, right, the frequency of prompt. Okay, but this is on the higher side, but this value will be around 15, 20 or something, if you are doing some testing. Now average prompt frequency is done. Now what next is average prompt tokens. What is the average tokens per prompt? So if you are hitting one prompt, what are the average tokens inside that? Okay, that's what this variable is going to take. Now average prompt tokens and average prompt tokens length. So let's call it average prompt tokens length, average prompt tokens length, and this becomes, again, let's again keep this as default as 300, and average prompt average completion tokens. Now we'll get some output, right? So let's do that. So this is what I'm going to write, average completions tokens. Now here I'm going to write average completion tokens, like the output that you are getting, how many tokens are there per prompt. So if you have 20 prompts, if you are hitting 20 prompt, then you'll have 20 completions, 20 output. That's what we're gonna have a look at into this. And what are the average tokens in all of those completions? Now average completions tokens, so let's call it here average completions, average completions tokens length. Now here one variable that we are not considering that will be really important, guys, is let me first do it 1000 tokens, maybe a little more. The what important thing you will see here, guys, one important thing is the context length. Because if you use 32k context and you set the prompt that I need a bigger answer, use all of your context, then you will get more outputs, tokens, completions tokens. So please consider those variables, and this is very interesting field to work with. Okay, so you work with this logics, and you can see now we have something called execute a simulation, where you can create a simulation, and it says GPT 3.5 turbo. You can select all this. You can see that these are all sliders. Let me just do it so you can see the sliders over here. See that? Okay, fantastic, isn't it? Now you can select like this, and by default it's 0. So if you just do a refresh, so it will all go, but I'll just make it 0 for now. Let's do a 0 for all. So 0, 2. Okay, fantastic. Now the last column, guys, with column 3. So let's do that here. So in column 3, let me just do that. Okay, with column 3. With column 3. Now here in column 3 we'll write our so let's write a subheader, cost analysis. Okay, cost analysis. Let's see what we have done. So we are now saying, now if option equal to GPT 3.5 turbo, that option that we have given here in the select LLM, let's see that. So we have done GPT 3.5 turbo and we have GPT-4. Now in GPT 3.5 turbo, what we are saying, cost per day, we are saying average number of employee, you can see, or average number of employee. Let's see average number of employees into average prompt frequency, and then average prompt tokens, and then what you do, you have then GPT 3.5 prompt cost, and yeah, a plus let me have a look at that, every number of prompt frequency, average completions, cost per day, cost per month. Yeah, so let's first run it and see. Cost per day. So what I only wanted to do per day and per month, but I'm using Copilot, which also gave me cost per year, and we will see that. Let's see if we get anything here. So I'm just gonna copy this entire thing, do a probably just do a rerun. And right now you can see cost per day, cost per month. If I increase this value to average number of employees, now if I have 30 employees, working, and average number of frequency, average number of prompt frequency, sorry, I missed that. I'll just change it. Average number of prompt frequency. This will be average number of prompt frequency, and let's do a rerun. And I will make this, for example, if they are hitting 10 prompt, and prompt tokens length, if there is a 30 prompt tokens per, and the out completion tokens is like 150. You can see cost per day, cost per month, and cost per year. This is what it is, guys. Okay, but this is big, by the way. Okay, if you see cost per day, cost per month, and cost per year. Now if you click on GPT-4, this will go high. This is really go high, and it's because it's really costly. And average prompt tokens length, average number of prompt frequency. Let me just do figure out. I have noted it down my calculations, so I will just quickly bring that screen and see if we are going right. Or should we, let's do something else. Let's cost per day into 30. This looks nice. I'm just matching up the calculation that I did earlier for my scenarios. And average number, let me just have a look. Average number of employees, prompt frequency, this is right. So prompt tokens and then prompt cost is going fine. Now this is for cost prompt thingy, and then comes the completion. So for completions we have again average number of employees, and then average prompt frequency, and then average completions tokens, and then we have GPT 3.5 turbo completions cost. Fantastic. I think we are right. So this is right. Now this is what your output is. If just imagine if you are using, and these are all, by the way, in dollars. These are all in dollars, and but this is too much. I mean, or let's put $1 here probably. We can put a space and then dollar or something. Cost per day and cost. Yeah, and here as well. Fantastic. Okay, now this is your cost, guys. $3,000, 3,000 US dollar if you have 30 employees, and based on these situations, or if you are using GPT-4, which is one of the most advanced model by OpenAI right now. Now just imagine, this will make you bankrupt if you don't track it in a way, and you should give this access to the right set of people in your organization. But mostly what happens that the bigger enterprises and these guys have subscriptions with NDAs and subscription, they have some credits to work with the hyperscalers. But if you are, smaller MS, like we call it MSMEs, medium small enterprises, then you have to be very careful on the token uses, how many people are using it internally. If you just increase the number of 30 to 50, you will see. Just see the increase in the numbers. Of course, these variables are not exactly complete. There will be a lot of variance when it comes to picture. There will be a lot of variance, to be honest. Okay, so you have to be careful when you're calculating, but this is just a rough idea that how much it can cost, to execute based on some scenarios that we have. For example, 50 employees, and if just doing 10 prompts, average prompt tokens length, average completions tokens length. Now this is just the cost, and that's where caching and all will come in play, guys. You have to see that how you can build an optimized and efficient application when it comes to a large language model. So this is on OpenAI models. You can you can bring other models as well. Now let's do one thing, guys. I mean I have a GitHub repository of this as well, so I can, but that's little different. It does not contain cost per year, but maybe you can integrate it. So let me just show you what I'm talking. So if I go to AI anytime GitHub, I already have posted this, like push this repository on GitHub for you, so you can take the code and work along. You can have a look. Somebody has also started. I don't know, even I haven't even created this video. This all the love that you guys are showing, the support. Thank you so much for that. But now what I want to do is I want to go to Streamlit Cloud here, and Streamlit Community Cloud. Maybe we can deploy this. Let's see. So to okay, so it's little slow, but we'll try to deploy it. I hope I have a file called app.py that I can define over there. Okay, I have an app.py. So this looks a little different, at least because this is what I have written from scratch, and this piece of code is given by GitHub Copilot, but both are right, so it's okay. The designs are a little bit of change. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna click on use existing, or let's create a new app first, and repository. I'm gonna use unit economics of LLM. That's repository is called as unit economics of LLM, and then you have app.py thingy over here. So let's do that. So app.py, app URL. Can you give me something else, guys? Here I don't need. Okay, this says domain is, or let's call it LLM Cost Calculation. Okay, and now let's click on deploy. Now once I click on deploy, what I'm expecting is that it will first start its oven, and it starts some oven. I love the UX. You can see your app is in the oven now. That's what they say, by the way. But this is fantastic, isn't it? I mean, to give you, at least they give you at least up to 1 GB, if I'm not wrong. Heroku used to give us 512, if I'm not wrong, MB of space. But then again, stopped the free version of Heroku. I think if I'm not wrong, Salesforce acquired Heroku, or I don't know, either of Salesforce and Snowflake. I think Snowflake has acquired Heroku, and then they stopped whoever, okay, the free version. And now we are working with Streamlit, which provides us at least 1 GB of community cloud, which is great. And you can see it's installing and all. Okay, it will take a little time. But this is the interesting, guys, the unit economics. If you are also working in these lines, please reach out to me. We can work together, can do something in these areas. And it says cannot load Streamlit front-end code. This can happen when you update Streamlit while Streamlit app is running. To fix this, simply reload this app by, what the hell. Okay, I will copy this. I'll paste it here and see if this again gives the error. But again, if it says fails to create the application reverse proxy, network issue, try force clearing your browser cache. But anyway, this app, I'll give you the link in the description. You can try it out. So this app will be now deployed, okay, to be honest, and I will give the link in the YouTube video description. You can take it and try it out yourself, and let me know your views, how it's doing. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is just some cache or some problem. It will take a few minutes, and then I will fix it up. And the code is available on my GitHub repository. Please reach out to me if you have any thoughts, guys, on this. So yeah, go ahead and extend this further. So that's all for this video, guys, and I hope you can now calculate or extend this app further, or this idea further, with bringing different scenarios in consideration when you are trying to estimate the pricing. It's a complex topic. Unit economics is really complex, to be honest, and I'm not an economist, but just an idea to work on. I'm working on it extensively, I'll say, on a very larger project. This is just a maybe 5% of what I'm currently working on. So I just wanted to give you this idea so you can also work on and scale this further. If you have any thoughts, comments, and feedback for me, please let me know in the comment box. You can also reach out to me from my social media channels. Those details are available on my YouTube banner and the About channel details. Please like and comment if you have anything to comment, and share the video and the channel to your friends and peers. And please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.